What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 14 of season 2 of Hit the Books. We're here with the usual crew, ready to digest week 13 of the NFL. Thanksgiving week here, so first off, happy Thanksgiving to all, and get ready for the 3 games on Thanksgiving Thursday this week. We got some stats lined up from last week and trends like usual in the NFL this week, and the boys are here and ready to give you all, Jesus Christ, ready to give you their takes on all things NFL, and we've got a little dose of NHL, NBA, and more, but not without first introducing my co-host. Everybody at home for the holidays. Ace, let's start with you. You're going 6-5 last week in the NFL. What else you got for me, buddy?
Yeah, 6-5 last week, so didn't take any plays on a weird Monday Night Football game, especially with Kyler out. So wanted to end the week on a positive note. Kind of in the same situation as I was the week before. I started off with Thursday night in the early slate, really boosting my stats, and I tried to double down and use all my winnings to make a big jump. But instead, I fell flat on my face. Still stayed above 0 units at plus, so we love to see it. 6-5, that's good. I mean, my second half of the year stays strong. But definitely would like to see one of these double downs really hit with some of these bigger plays. That'd be nice to see a fat weekend of a plus 6 to 10 units. I'd definitely love to see that. But other than that, love to see my Patriots getting a big win, reclaiming their spot in the AFC, and I'm ready to watch some AFC East football and talk about it with the boys.
Good stuff, dude. Mackie, you're up back home in New York. Nice to get some time off, I assume. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, not a bad week. Obviously, it's never a bad thing when you stay positive. I think I was positive like 0.4 units, so it's just a nickel and diamond at this point. But just winning one, losing one right now. So trying to get back on track.
Nice. Huff, busy season for you. What's happening this week in the world of Huff?
Not much with me. Tough week in the NFL. Obviously, I kind of reached on my under again. I feel like I kind of just have to take that most of these primetime games especially when I see a fucking Colt McCoy under center. Mackie, you take his under. At halftime, I think that's literally going to get obliterated. I thought that was going way over. What was he at, 175 at halftime? I was like, this dude's throwing for at least 300.
Swinging, dude. He had like 100 passing yards in the first quarter. I was like, what is going on?
And like I texted you guys. I don't even know if anyone answered me. Probably not, because I'm just complaining about my own bet that no one else took. But anytime there's an interception or a fumble in the first half, I don't think I've ever hit that first half under.
I saw you say that.
It's just avoiding the mistakes.
If teams can just stay on track,
so key.
Yeah. And every time it's a turnover, they're always like on the other team's 40 or the other team's 30, like, and it's points immediately, like. But
the kickers
win some, you lose some. Not too bad of a week. I think I was 3-3, so I didn't take too many plays. I was at the Steeler game. Didn't take anything on that game on the card. I fucking lost big off the card. I took the under in the Steelers plus the points, so fuck me, 0-2 on that. That's why I took it off the card. Didn't really like it. So did good on the card. I had what did I have Sunday? Lions blew out the Giants. And then 4 o'clock slate I had the first half under, so I was able to hit that. But 2-0 little afternoon, but Packers and basically that first half under on Sunday or on Monday night just burnt me.
Yeah, tough week, honestly, for all of us. Ace is the only real positive one. I think, Mackie, you're a little bit positive,
he is.
Right?
Yeah,
Mackie.
Positive. I'll claim positive.
Yeah, Mackie.
Yeah, and Huff's just barely not positive, but tough week across the board, but week 12 is here, and we're ready for it. But first, let's jump into a little NHL. Who we've been eyeing up lately, guys? Some hot teams lately. The Devils, Bruins, Avs, Golden Knights, just to name a few. We're hot on the card. What do you got? Ace, you want to get us rolling?
Yeah, definitely want to get rolling on some NHL just because I want to remind you guys that the Boston Bruins are the best team in the NHL.
Wait, who?
I said it before the season. The Boston Bruins, they win every night.
I've never heard of
We should be putting on the card every night.
I don't know. Do you like
you
that
guys
team?
disagree with me. I take them puck line in money line.
We know.
Well, recently,
and we don't add it.
Well
and
aware.
we don't add it.
Listen. Up until last night, I've been taking them -1.5, but last night, dude, they had 82% of money on the road against Tampa. Everything was leaning against it. Obviously, they came out on top because they're just buzzing right now. But last night wasn't really the night to take. We've been taking them. I feel good taking them like 3 or 4 times.
A good amount. Yeah, probably
games.
the most consistent out of any team, but not enough. I'd say. I've said this all year, but you ride the streak while you can before you miss it, right?
No, yeah,
They're 17-2,
you're
and the
you're
-1.5's been hammering.
no, you're definitely right about that. But I wasn't comfortable last night in that play. But you're
I
right.
like
You're
them as
right.
underdogs.
What'd you say?
You don't see it. You don't see them. You don't see the best team in the NHL, regardless of if it's my team or not, as an underdog on many nights. I know it's the Lightning in Tampa Bay, so it's a tough game, but
You see a team that's 16-2 as an underdog, it looks a little sketchy, don't you think?
yeah, but I'd ride with it. I think there's just too much credit given the Lightning, deservedly so, with that lineup and their success over the years. But besides the Bruins, a lot of other teams we've had success on. I think another consistent team you see on our card is the Vegas Golden Knights, eking out a win last night for us, but we'll take it and we go 1-0 on the card. But you guys have anything else about the Knights last night?
I actually didn't watch that game. I had the bet. Vegas they've been fucking rolling. Jack Eichel, he looks like obviously he actually wants to play hockey. It's good to see him in a situation where he wants to be there. Ace, your former head coach Bruce Cassidy has the boys rolling in Vegas. And back to the Bruins, I think Jim Montgomery is the fucking reason the Bruins are beating it a 16, 17-2. Are they 17-2 or 16-2? It's ridiculous.
17-2, and I agree. Montgomery, that coaching change, like Cassidy.
And I dogged you.
Yeah.
I kind of dogged you for that. I said Cassidy's one of the best coaches in the NHL. He goes to a team with Vegas that's also ready to win a cup. Bruins, obviously, same situation as my Penguins in like a last dance kind of thing. And they get a rookie coach. I was like, what are the Bruins bringing in a new head coach for? Someone that hasn't been a head coach in the NHL before this year. And this team's on a 1-year window, 2-year window. Obviously, the contracts are all with at the end of the season. But I don't know. Montgomery has been the biggest surprise to me for the Bruins.
Yeah, but
obviously,
what's his
Go
face?
ahead.
Bruce Cassidy is doing. He's doing well in Vegas too. So I think it's like just a win-win situation for both teams. I think they needed to part
exactly.
ways.
That's kind of what I was getting at. It's crazy to me that I was all like, I can't believe the Bruins let him walk. And I mean, they knew something better than I did because obviously they knew they had this guy waiting in the door, ready to take his role, and best start to an NHL season ever. I mean, so kudos to that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Huff. It's really just the change of environment and the fit for a coach. Because yes, Cassidy is a great coach. I think I've said this on the pod before, but he fits better in that locker room in Vegas that needs to be like held accountable, old school, kick your ass, like hard nosed hockey. Whereas the Bruins actually have a lot of skill, and they needed to get away from the gritty coaching style of the Julians and the Cassidys. You bring in like a power play specialist that just creates offense all game. I think the emergence of Hampus Lindholm, we grabbed him in the trade deadline last year. He's a plus, like has the best plus minus of any Bruin ever, and he has never been minus in his whole career as a Bruin, which is like over like about a year now.
yeah,
And then with him and McAvoy back and so much talent around them, I mean, it's just a Krejci coming back. It's just a deep team. It's really the depth of this team that makes them what they are.
another team that's obviously surprising is the fucking Devils. How about them?
Yeah,
I agree
this
with
team's
that.
on a 13-game heater right now. Jack Hughes playing like an all-star. You got Jesper Bratt playing like an all-star. This whole team is just Vanacek's 9-1 in net. I mean, this team is just rolling right now. Other than like obviously the Bruins are a good team. We saw this coming. We saw them being at least a good like being at the top of the standings or at least around it. I don't think
Contender.
anybody. Yeah, contenders exactly. I don't think anybody saw the Devils sitting at 16 wins, 19 games into the season. I mean, I saw on ESPN yesterday. I was watching. They said Devils didn't reach 16 wins last year until February. We're sitting in the middle of November right now. So obviously this team's buzzing. They got a lot going for them, and I really don't think they're a fluke. I think this team will be top of the standings for the whole regular season at least. It might run into some trouble in the playoffs, obviously, just because it's a young, inexperienced team with not a lot of enforcers on that team. So you get banged up in the playoffs. Obviously, it's a different animal, but I think this team will definitely be atop the NHL for the 82 game regular season at least.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's almost like we're saying it's about time though. They've had all those first round picks, so much talent up front. I'm still not sold on that goaltending duo. I know they're young and they're playing well, but I was not a fan of Vanacek when he was playing in Washington last year. I thought he was very leaky in his net, but he's a young goalie and team's playing hot, and maybe that change of scenery really sparked it for him. Those Russian goaltenders usually have some hot years in them. We've seen like Bobrovsky and whatnot have those in the past. What about out west? Besides the Knights, the Oilers are really doing their thing. Connor McDavid showing he's the best athlete on the planet, night in and night out.
Yeah, Oilers are winning
Oh.
more games than I expected them to earlier in the season. It's just obviously the star power on that team, but you know how they've been able to struggle since. I mean, Paul Bissonnette said it best, and I honestly kind of agree with him. He said you take McDavid and Draisaitl off that team, and the Yotes beat him in a 7-game series, and I don't think you can convince me otherwise because you see, you look at the stat sheet every single night, and McDavid and Draisaitl are all over it every single night. So I don't know. That team just doesn't really produce much offense besides them too, and I don't know. They're winning games right now. They look like a good team, but obviously Jack Campbell's struggling in net right now. So they got Skinner starting right now. So they got something. They got some problems in net right now. So
I expect them to still be in the hunt when we get down the stretch just because of McDavid. But besides that, some other teams we've really liked on the card, the Dallas Stars, we've been looking at a lot. The Winnipeg Jets, centered by Hellebuck. But one thing I really want to caution our listeners to remember is in the NHL, it's an 82-game season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you really have to pay attention to that scheduling of back-to-back nights. Home ice advantages home is huge in the National Hockey League. And then the goaltending matchups, as we allude to all the time, probably the most important position in the game. So if you want to make money on hockey, there's money to be made, but you really have to be doing your research, I would say.
the Bruins are 11-0 at home this season.
Jeez.
Right at Linus Olmark, Vezda.
Come on.
He's reminiscent of Tim Thomas. He really, his demeanor and his play shows me it, but obviously it's really early in the season, so we'll see how that plays out.
You think he plays a big role
back,
in this win streak, or the start to the season? I would say, or you think it's more of your offense and defense is playing in front of him? Because like you said in Jersey, you don't really think Vanacek's that good, so obviously you think it's more of the offense and defense carrying that 13-game win streak. So how do you feel about the Bruins?
That's a good question. The thing is, I think they have great players at all phases of the game. Olmark was brought in here on that big deal to be the guy, and he's really proving up to it after a light year. Another guy that really did that too was Nick Foligno, upped his game from last year. I think he's truly healthy. But it's game in and game out. They win games in different ways. They trail and come back. They lead all game. They put 5 pucks in the net any night. I know any goalie in the NHL can win that game. But Olmark has a few shutouts to his resume as well. And he's been doing it without his 2 and Jeremy Swayman there, so he's gotten a bulk of the work back-to-back nights and whatnot. And just the way he's playing lights out and he's playing confident hockey. He's all over the puck, smothering at the top of the crease. So it's really all aspects of the game. I think the coaching changed the culture and everybody buying into Bergeron and Krejci signing for that last deal. Like, they're bought in. This is a good team. They found that chemistry early that a lot of people takes them about 60 to 80 games to find.
Yeah, the team's definitely overperforming, I would say. Other than that, Rangers don't look too good. What are you saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say that you guys are down on the Rangers right now. I'm still high on that team. I think they're the second best team in the Metropolitan Division, so I expect betting on them should start a little bit more profitable.
I definitely agree. We're definitely at the end of the day the second best team in the Metropolitan Division, I think. But dude, like they're what? They're 9-6-4. They literally have more losses than wins this year. I know 4 are in OT, so it doesn't look that way. But they're just not getting the job done, dude. They're not putting the puck in the net. Their power play is literally carrying that team, and that was kind of the case last year too. But their offense was doing a little more. I mean, they beat San Jose the other night 2-1, 2 power play goals. Like, come on, you should be able to put a few more pucks in on James Reimer and San Jose Sharks. I don't know.
I'm with you. I was high on this Rangers team going into this year. I still think they'll be there. Obviously, going to be one of the top teams in the Metro with you. I think Mackie, same thing. Top 2 teams.
I'm not like worried about it, but like it's just
you'll still be there. And this team, like I said, going into this year, this is one of the teams that's built for the playoffs. So they just got to get there, and it's the NHL playoffs. And once you get there, it's any team's game.
We've seen it with Tampa multiple times. If you want to talk about your Penguins slacking a little, or actually they've been up back on track a little.
They're picking it up since their 7-game losing streak.
They're hanging around.
They're hanging around.
That's all this team has to do. What did I just say? You just got to get in the big dance. We'll see you in April. That's all I gotta say. There's no. I mean, I'm not going to be like that. They're not that. They're not that good that I can just sit around and wait until then.
Who do you believe in more, the Pittsburgh Penguins led by Sidney Crosby or the New Jersey Devils off to the hard start?
Okay,
I was saying this to Mackie earlier. Like, is it? I think we said the same thing. Like, are these teams peaking at the wrong time? Like, obviously the Bruins, it's more proven. Like, they have a more proven resume that they obviously have the players on the roster that have been far in the playoffs. They've done the players that have won Stanley Cups. This Devils team is so young. I think that this happens with a lot of young teams, and they start hot out the gate, and then this team's going to hit a wall come like Christmas time, and it's going to go hard. And I think the Devils still may not even make the playoffs.
I don't think that I think they'll make the playoffs definitely. I think this team's definitely legit. But what I would say is that say Devils go in as like the 2 seed in the Met and they have to play or the 1 seed in the Met, I guess it would have to be, and they have to run into Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. I'd take the Penguins in that series definitely in a playoff scenario. I mean,
Yeah, just the tenure. I mean, they've been
that
there, done that.
it's the experience, it's the physicality of the playoffs.
The home ice advantage of the Prudential Center versus PPG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
right.
too. It's just that just wouldn't be an ideal matchup for Jack Hughes and that team. I know it wouldn't. So, like you said, you that Penguins team gets to the playoffs. You got a lot of experience and gritty players in that team. So, I'd be definitely something to worry about. We saw with the Rangers last year, that inexperienced Rangers team. You brought us basically to well, definitely to the brinks of elimination, and finally got it together. Game 5 or yeah, game 5. So that team could be scary in the playoffs, definitely.
Other than our squads and the ones we mentioned, I know you've got the Panthers, the Lightning, and the Hurricanes all hanging around, but we'll see as the season continues
Underachieving,
on
man.
how they continue to do. But they'll be there. We know those teams are good.
Yeah, but they're just off to a rough start.
One thing about the Panthers, real quick. Did you guys see the thing with fucking Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, and who was it? Barkov in Florida, and they were like passing the puck around in warm-ups. And obviously Huberdeau plays for the Flames and Weegar plays for the Flames. They were like making a big deal about it. They were like, one last time. Like making a huge deal about it. It's like, dude, just warm up for the game. This isn't that big of a deal. They never won shit together.
That's so corny.
They were acting like it
both
was
so
like
good at being nobodies in the middle of South Florida that got a lot of points and then fizzled out.
exactly.
to,
They
like-
just got a lot of points and then got wiped in the playoffs.
Yeah, you win a President's Trophy and it's fucking a brand new reunion.
Tons of good stuff out of the NHL, boys. We went 4-0 last Thursday, 1-0 last night. We're continuing to pump out plays wherever we see fit every few days. Good stuff there. Let's do a similar thing in the NBA. What else we eyeing up there? Hot teams lately, the Pelicans, Cavs, Suns, Celtics, Bucks. Who else you thinking? Mackie, you want to get us going on that?
Yeah, NBA's always a little like streaky like that. Obviously, you got your powerhouses, the Bucks, Celtics run on a 9-game winning streak. I think that just ended last night. Some surprising teams though. You got like the Jazz. That team looked like they were in rebuild mode. You got players like Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen stepping up and playing good basketball. Jazz, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure they're the 1 seed in the West right now.
They are.
Yeah, so you got teams like that overperforming. Mavs look good, Luka looks good, Steph's having a career year. The Warriors just aren't winning games right now. Yeah, basically, yeah. NBA, I don't really like NBA regular season. Kawhi played his first game in like a month and a half last night. So, that I really like that Clippers team fully healthy, but Kawhi's a big question mark every single night with that team. So, Nate, you got
Yeah, you're
something to
not
say
wrong.
about that?
I like to bet. I was just gonna mention some of the teams that I've been finding profitable and who we've been liking on our card a lot. You just said it with the Clippers. That's a team out west that's pretty consistent over the last few years. And the Golden State Warriors, yeah, they've been banged up. I know last night they had Curry, Thompson, and Green all out of the lineup, but they're still hanging around at 8 and 10, so they're right there. It's still too early in the season to get a tell.
I think
Another one.
I think they're 0-9 on the road this year.
Let's see. I got that up right now. They're 7-1 at home and they're 1-9 on the road.
1-9.
They must have won last night on the road, did they?
No, they beat Houston, I think, actually, like a few nights ago.
Yeah, but other than that, the teams I really look at, like I said, the Clippers. We really like the Celtics and the Bucks, and I look at the Sixers to start turning it up a little bit too. So, and you have the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving's back in the mix. It's another thing you can't forget.
And Simmons
as long
is
as
playing
he's
good basketball.
Those are three of the best players in the league all on one team. So it's all a little bit before time to put things together. But Our card, Jesse, what did you say we're sitting at with a record here?
5-1 in the NBA.
Yeah, the Hawks are another one I'd like to mention. They're a one loss, just missed with an overtime win. I think we had a -5. They ended up winning by 3, Huff, right?
2.
The Hawks, that's our only loss on the NBA card this year, -5, and they won in overtime by 3 points.
2.
Yeah, 2, but you're pretty spot on.
Yeah, so
yeah, but a good start.
We're seeing
in
the
the
right
NBA, though.
stuff.
We're killing it
Yeah.
there. I mean, obviously a 5-0 start, you're never going to complain about that. But and like you said, that Hawks game, we'll take it. We were looking for some action, and I know we didn't get it in. Mackie, how are the Grizzlies doing? I'm curious.
Last I checked, they were up like 5. We could have got them at -115 money line. That was obviously before Ja was announced playing, and at tip off they were already at -4.5, like -170 money line. So we missed our opportunity on that, but they're looking
I
good.
didn't know Ja was in.
Creighton's up 8 right now. That looks good right now. So we got a few plays out right now.
What was I going to say? One thing that Mackie and I were going back and forth about, another thing for our listeners, like at the end of that NHL segment, really checking lineups is a big thing. We were thinking about taking the Nuggets tonight, and we realized that Jokic was a game time decision. So you have to do a little bit more research into that and see really what's going on. And he's ended up probably not going to play. And if he's playing, he's on a minute restriction. So that's something we definitely stay away from. So definitely be checking out those lineups in these long season leagues.
Especially the NBA. I mean, NHL they don't really sit out as often. Most players playing at least an 80-game season, but NBA you sit out if your toe hurts or you wake up with a cough or something. So
Spoken like a true hockey player there, Mackie.
oh, it's true, man. These people be
That's
taking
so
off
true.
for nothing.
I mean,
LeBron James, every single game. Granted, he's 36 years old. I understand. Every single game time decision. Like, dude, are you gonna play or not? Like,
Did you guys see that stat about the Lakers' record without LeBron James in the lineup? I know Huff definitely saw it. He's
is
a
it
big
good?
LeBron guy. No, they're well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're way better without LeBron in the
I was
lineup this
gonna
year.
say, yeah.
That's
Come on.
interesting to see. There's
There's no need for some LeBron slander.
Surprised Huff's not jumping on that.
no, I mean, it's like, close your eyes. If you're going to watch a Laker game, do you want LeBron James there or do you want him not there? Like, you're going to want the GOAT on
Oh
the
yeah,
court.
I want him
Like,
there every time. Are you kidding me? But it's just funny
Yeah.
to see those stats.
He
I
does.
hate when dudes pull that because it is such all like LeBron haters doing that shit. Like they're always like, "Yeah, when LeBron doesn't play, the Lakers are 16-4 against the spread." It's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
The more
because the
fun to
spread's
watch
at
when LeBron's
16.
in. Yeah, like
Nah, but dude, honestly, watching the Lakers this year, LeBron does not look good. He's turning the ball over and just taking stupid shots. But he's the GOAT, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants, in my opinion.
he just wants to get to the playoffs. Same thing. Like that team's not that good.
They're not getting to the playoffs, dude. The problem is they didn't build around him. I mean, I'd be so mad if I was him in that front office. Who do you have,
He
Lonnie?
should request a trade.
They
I'd
got
be like,
Lonnie
fuck this.
Walker and Pat Bev. That's who they picked up. Like, really, bro? That's not winning a championship. Anthony Davis has been balling though.
I found the stat. So this season, it's not even that good. They're 2-2 without James compared to 2-8 with him.
So
Yeah,
technically, they
it's
have
just
no
a
better. They have
just
just
a
as many
stupid
wins
bet.
in half the amount of games.
Yeah, it's a strange stat, but it's definitely something funny to look at.
Yeah, but obviously 5-1 in the NBA. That's gonna be something you want to keep looking at for our social medias and stuff like that. So, I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about in the NBA. Know you were talking about that for a minute while I stepped away, but
Yeah, that's it for the NBA. I think we're also getting hot in college basketball. 2-1-1. Mac, you got anything about that?
3-1-1.
3-1-1. Don't be selling
Sorry,
us short there,
3-1-1.
Jesse.
I apologize.
Yeah, we started slow in college basketball. Not like slow record-wise, but we just didn't release a lot of picks early because, it's nice to feel out. These are 18-year-olds betting on, so it's nice to feel out some teams before you start throwing money on them. But, yeah, just riding with the good teams this year. I mean, you get Gonzaga at home, only -4. You're gonna take them. Michigan State's been rolling right now. It's hard to bet against Tom Izzo, so when you can get them at plus money, it's nice. Went 1-1 last night. Mississippi State should have won by 7. I forget who they were playing, but they hit like a buzzer beater 3, kind of made them push. So, yeah, we're just rolling right now. It's just getting started. It should be a good college basketball season. Been pretty hot the past few years, so look for a release in plays.
Yeah, definitely follow along. Mackey's a college basketball guru, so Huffy and I are always telling us picks every night. The public might as well make money off of it too. Definitely check out our socials for those plays.
You boys said it best. All good stuff there across the board. So let's jump into some NFL football. Week 12 is here. I got a few trends and stats to get us going. Last week in Week 11, favorites went 10-2 straight up, but are 7-5 against the spread, and over-unders tied 6-6 in Week 11. So very interesting week in Week 11. So Week 12 is here. The trends I got are, since 2004, the favorites on Thanksgiving are 43-8 straight up and 35-16 against the spread. And in that span, road favorites are 23-1 straight up and 19-5 against the spread on Thanksgiving, with the only loss coming back in 2009 when the Giants lost to the Broncos 26-6. So it's going to be an interesting Thanksgiving and extended weekend. So let's jump right in. The first game being the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. The Bills are the favorite here at -9.5. The money line sitting at -420, and the over-under sitting at 54.5. No trends from me in this matchup. For our first game on Thanksgiving, I got 59% of the money on Buffalo. Huff, what do you think about this one? Get us going. First game on Thanksgiving, 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, obviously Lions every year we get to watch their shit show on Thanksgiving. Usually pretty decent game they put on. I feel like this is the Lions Super Bowl every year that they get to play in. This team's 4-6, getting a win last week. They've been kind of rolling over the past couple weeks since their hot start to the season. Going up against a pretty good, obviously a really legit Bills team, 7-3, still sitting at second in their division with that crazy AFC East race. Just the fact that this game means more to the Lions. I really like what's happening with Jamal Williams. I really like what Jared Goff got done last week. Big spread, home field. I like the Lions. Give me the Lions plus 9.5.
9.5 points is a lot for a Lions team, especially on Thanksgiving Day. But we see how good this Bills team is. Everybody loves Josh Allen, and he's a alleged MVP frontrunner. I think he's been playing bad last few weeks. I've been calling it out since before that Jets game. Kind of calling out the Sauce Gardner interception, and it came to life. But he's been loose with the football, and he's playing injured, I think. So that's not a good sign for the Bills. But that defense really is good enough to put them in good field position and keep them scoring points. And Stephon Diggs is one of the best receivers in the NFL. My favorite play on this Thanksgiving early slate is definitely a Stephon Diggs touchdown and maybe his over receiving prop, because in the prime time they're going to get him the ball, and we're all going to be sitting down watching our TV before Thanksgiving dinner to see Stephon Diggs in the end zone. I do like the over 54 also. Just a lot of points I think in this matchup between the two teams. They like the big play touchdown. Jamal Williams has that nose for the end zone. Guy scores every week, so I'm expecting a high scoring game from both sides here. What do you think, Mackie?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same side as you. I'm not really a big props guy. Ace, you're more of a props guy yourself, but I absolutely love Stephon Diggs getting the end zone. I mean, it's Thanksgiving. You always see those players in a game like this. They're always getting to the end zone. I mean, he'll be targeted heavy against Detroit. Obviously they just played there. I think they went home. They said they wanted to go home for a few days and then come back. It's probably not that far from Buffalo to Detroit, but yeah, I really like a high scoring game here too. I like the over. What's the over set at?
54.5.
54. I have 54.
Ooh, that is really high. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how that changes. I think the Bills get it done here. I think Josh Allen eats on Thanksgiving. Stephon Diggs eats on Thanksgiving. The Bills defense might eat a little too. That's the only thing that might steer me away from the over 54. I don't know how much the Lions can really produce. Then again, the Lions are always playing on Thanksgiving, so they've been here before. Yeah, but my main play on this game would be Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown score. I know it's probably sitting like -130, -140, but I like it, and I lean Bills -9.5 here.
Yeah, this will be a fun one to watch. I'm happy we have these two teams, and I'm happy the Lions have them because I think the Lions are going to be hyped up to score, and they have a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball. So give me that over 54. Maybe they'll turn into a team play. Who knows? We haven't had one in a while, but look out for our Thanksgiving pick on this early game.
think this is going to be one of the better Thanksgiving games. So let's move forward to the next one. The New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Another 9.5-point favorite in the favor of the Cowboys. Their money line -450. Over under at 45.5. The trend I got for this one is that Dallas is 5-0 straight up in its last 5 games when playing at home against the Giants. Question is, do you like the Cowboys at -9.5? Mackie, take this one away. Your Cowboys. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't
Against
like
your
that.
Giants.
I don't like them at all in this situation. I mean, I think they can definitely do enough to get it done. But Dallas coming off a slaughtering win over the overhyped Vikings. Giants coming off a pretty brutal loss against the Lions. I mean, this game just screams like Giants are gonna come out and get out to an early lead. I mean, it's a divisional game. It's 9.5 points. Both teams are 7-3. I think this is a ridiculous spread, especially. I think it's exaggerated because of the weeks that both teams had last week. I think a lot of people are going to jump down Dallas's throat after a 40-3 slaughtering of the 8-1 Vikings, and a lot of people are falling off the Giants bandwagon after losing to a pretty shitty Detroit team. So with that being said, it's a divisional matchup. I think Saquon can eat on Thanksgiving. I think that offense can get going a little. I think we've seen Dallas's defense slack a little in games like these. We've seen them give up a lot of points when they're playing not too powerful offenses. So 9.5 points I think is too much for me. I like the Giants plus 9.5 here. I do think Dallas finds a way to get a win here.
I really do like Dallas in this spot. One of my favorite players on that team too is Tony Pollard, playing the best football of his young career, and we really saw it last week through the air and on the ground. I think he's kind of taking over that lead bulk of the work from Ezekiel Elliott, who's still in the mix too, but I think Zeke will get in the end zone Thanksgiving. Doesn't do it every year, and he jumps in the Salvation Army bin. So, yeah, feed Zeke, and then him and Dak are popping out of the thing. They get fined for it, and then they donate that money too. Something like that. But I really like the Cowboys this Thanksgiving. 9.5 is a lot of points. I might be looking at a team total from the Cowboys in this game, actually. I do think that Dak and the boys roll. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to eat. 9.5 is just too much in any game. I really don't know. I mean, maybe I tease them with the Bills, right? Maybe that's not a bad thing to look at now that I think about it. But this will be an entertaining game to watch, and a lot at stake with 2 7-3 teams in divisional matchup. Saquon Barkley is going to have a good game, so a lot of stars on the field here. This will be a fun one to watch in the middle of the day on Thanksgiving. Yeah, too many points. Huff, are you leaning anyone? I know you like giving points but
I know I usually do, and I like the Cowboys in this spot at home. I think Danny Dimes, Vanilla Vic is going to struggle in this one against the Cowboys defense. It's basically a primetime game, a 4:30 game on Thanksgiving. I like the Cowboys here. I know. Yeah, I know. I usually say give the points in a divisional game. I really like the Cowboys in this spot. I think their offense is rolling. I think they're trying to make a campaign for Odell Beckham Jr. We heard Dak make some headlines with that in the locker room last week after the game or after practice one day this week. Definitely, he's saying we definitely want him here, but we want him to want to be here, like a whole thing. So I like the Cowboys in this spot. I think everything's going rolling for the Cowboys. This might be one of the weeks where you see me do my full game and first half spread. That's how much I like this Cowboys team right now. I like the Cowboys.
yeah, I think Huff, does the winner of this game decide who gets Odell Beckham Jr.? Because you saw he was interested in the Giants too, huh?
He did say, well, after Dak said something about it, he said something about he misses someone in the Giants. I think he said he misses Saquon.
He's been saying he misses the Giants, but I mean I don't think there's like 2 players on that team that are still on.
I don't think anybody would voluntarily sign somewhere to catch passes from Daniel Jones. So that's just me.
That's also a big factor.
I think if Odell went there, they would try to use him like a old Deebo Samuel.
The problem is that if he went to the Giants, he'd need to be old Odell, and he's not old Odell. If he goes to the Cowboys, he can be who Julio Jones is in Tampa, or just like an old
Except
receiver.
Way better.
What?
No, if he goes to the Dallas Cowboys, he'll be the Odell Beckham Jr. that he was in the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That
Which
too.
is who won a Super Bowl.
But he wouldn't be able to play that role
in
in New York. He needs. If he goes to New York, you have to be the main guy there right now.
Yeah. he can go to Dallas and be who he already is, like whatever year he's in. He doesn't have to be, the number one receiver. Obviously, you said you have CeeDee Lamb,
You're a
Tony
check down.
Gallup.
You're a check down
It's
receiver.
Yeah,
crazy
like-
to me how Dak Prescott really disfavored Michael Gallup this year. I wonder if he's still hurt because I feel like he's even behind Noah Brown on the depth chart.
Well, the thing with Noah Brown was him and Cooper Rush had like a little thing going. They played college together or something. Remember? I was off carding a lot of that Noah Brown dude. Anytime touchdown, he was like plus 400. Like
Yeah.
first, well after I realized how free it was, the second time it happened when he just throws the ball to him, literally every play. It was like him and that Noah
Cooper-
Brown dude at the beginning of this. Cooper Rush and Noah Brown were like last year when Derek Carr literally would only look at Darren Waller. Like the
Yeah, literally.
only dude on the field he looked at was Darren Waller.
Dak's like
That
that with
was
Dalton
literally-
Schultz a lot too. Anytime he has nowhere to throw the ball, he just finds Dalton Schultz and just throw it at him no matter what.
Yeah, that's a lot of quarterbacks with their tight ends though. Like, I mean, if you have a good tight end, it's a good dude.
Dalton
to deal
Schultz
with,
is not
obviously.
a top 7 or
No.
8 tight end, I don't think.
No.
There's no good tight ends anymore, so he could be.
Yeah, you're right. But you still got. I could definitely
A bunch
name
of guys
five.
who are injured.
I could definitely name 5 better than him right now.
You can't say Waller or Pitts. They're both hurt.
I won't say Waller or Pitts. I wouldn't say Pitts either.
Or
Come on,
Higbee.
you know me.
Or Higbee. Waller,
Okay,
Pitts, Higbee.
Okay,
they're all hurt.
ready. Kelsey, Kittle, Goddard, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews County, he's back.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I'll
dude,
count it.
I'd even say Fryermuth is better.
Hawkinson.
Actually, no, I'd say he's better than Fryermuth.
I like Zach Ertz, too.
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson.
He just tore his ACL.
Hawkinson, yeah. Did he actually?
Ertz tore his ACL?
with the Vikings?
Zach Ertz out for the year.
Oh, Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
I thought you said Hawkinson.
He was playing well, too. I like Njoku, too. He's a little banged up. Him and Higbee are a little bit better than Schultz, I guess.
There's about like I think like after the top 3 when you're looking at.
Schultz is consistent, though. I'd take Freiermuth over Schultz.
I was just saying that I feel like they're very comparable, honestly.
I think
Freiermuth's
Freiermuth
younger,
has so
though.
much potential. If Pickett
Yeah,
works
he's
out, I
young.
think Freiermuth is so good.
Where's he from?
They use him a lot, too. Is he from Penn State?
Yeah, he's Penn
Penn
State guy.
State.
Dude, what the? I swear to God, Pittsburgh.
Why do they only
loves
draft?
Pennsylvania
Oh,
players,
yeah.
dude? I swear
Yeah,
to
they
God.
Dude, it's so stupid. I think it's the dumbest shit ever.
It is weird.
But like, if it's the right guy, it's the right guy. But like, Pickett was like, come on.
Pickett's not bad.
No, I agree. But like,
It's
was
like
a-
we were
it
saying
was-
the other day. The thing with Pickett, it's crazy to think too. Like he's a good prospect because all of the young quarterbacks nowadays suck.
yeah, like,
This is the worst quarterbacking we've seen in our lifetime.
looking at Malik Willis and like, obviously we haven't seen Desmond Ridder yet, but like looking at Malik Willis, I'm like, all right, we have a terrible offensive line. The Titans is not bad. They're without Taylor Lewan right now. He tore his ACL at the beginning of the year, so they're a little banged up. But I mean, I'll take my chance with Pickett. I wanted Malik Willis. That's just because I'm not the biggest Pitt fan, obviously being a West Virginia alum. But I once they made him, obviously, or once they picked him, obviously he was my guy. So I'm gonna back him probably until he's not a Steeler, until he hopefully retires a Steeler Hall of Famer and wins me 2 more Super Bowls. But we'll see.
No way he wins 2 Super Bowls. He can only hold one with 2 hands. So
Yeah, he would have to set one down.
Fair assessment.
He could wear. He could. Do you think they make rings that small?
they
Custom.
make no. I don't think they
Custom.
make rings for coming in last in your division, Huff.
No,
Wait, who are we talking about?
Pickett. No, but I don't know how we spun off that to from Freiermuth, but yeah, I obviously think Freiermuth out of like young tight ends. I mean, my Freiermuth case over Pitts is looking pretty strong here, dude.
Anybody over Pitts? is
Can't
looking
wait until
strong right
Pitts. I
now.
can't wait until Pitts gets the hell out of Atlanta. He's got another year for that contract.
Yeah, probably one more.
Maybe he gets traded.
Dude, they'd get so much for him, but they just fucked themselves. Now he tore his ACL. No one wants him.
What are you
Now
gonna
you
do?
gotta wait. Now you gotta wait a full year. He's not even gonna be back for the start of next
That's a
year.
dumpster fire. That team doesn't even know how to lose.
It's crazy. Like they easily could have had a top 5 pick this year.
Yeah, instead they won.
They
on
could
the
also
division
still
in
be a
week 6.
playoff team.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but they're not going to be. Even they know it.
Yeah. I think everyone knows Tampa's coming out of that division.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Darnold leads Carolina to finish ahead of Atlanta, and Atlanta finishes in last in that division.
I don't know. Panthers have a good matchup this week. Let's get into this Thanksgiving night game.
Yeah, let's jump into this 8 o'clock matchup here Thursday night on Thanksgiving. The New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are the favorite here at minus 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 136, and the over-under sitting at 42.5. I got 77% of the money on Minnesota. But the trends I got are that New England is 5-0 straight up in its last 5 games against Minnesota. Also 6-1 against the spread in their last 7. And Minnesota is 7-1 straight up in their last 8 games. Ace, I know you said the Pats' play calling last week was subpar, but are the Vikings frauds? What do you think?
I think that this is going to be a great matchup, and I'm actually kind of disappointed that the odds makers got the lines a lot more closer than they should have been. I was hoping that the 8-2 Minnesota Vikings at home were going to come in at like 5.5 at least, so that way I could get a good juicy money line on the Patriots. But now it's really making it a toss up for everybody who's betting. But one thing I said last week when watching the Vikings get slaughtered by the Cowboys, I was like, wow, Kirk Cousins is going to look just like this next week because the Patriots front seven is built very similarly to that Dallas Cowboys front seven. And he's going to be running for his life against Matthew Judon and Dietrich Weiss. It could be a game where you take a Judon sack. I know it's probably nuts. Maybe take a pair of them. But, yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'd feel the under in the prime time there. Definitely is one of my better plays. I know the Patriots are going to play it close to the vest. You get baby Kirk Cousins against real Kirk Cousins. So it's going to be a fun one. I think the two defenses will have a good game, but the Patriots will find ways to stifle them like the Cowboys did and end up on top through good field position and good defensive play calling.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I really like the Patriots in this spot. I'd like +3. I was kind of when you were saying the odds makers got this pretty spot on from obviously the records. If you told me these records, I'd say Patriots +5, 4.5 maybe. But I mean, with the Vikings, what they did last week, I think a lot of people are kind of backing off on them. Like Jesse said, are they contenders? Are they frauds? A lot of people are kind of starting to question that. And I don't know. This Vikings team, is Kirk Cousins going to be that bad 2 weeks in a row? That's the only thing that's kind of killing me. Could he do that 2 weeks in a row?
Is this primetime Kirk?
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
This is primetime Kirk.
Oh, okay.
This is
good.
8 p.m. That's why I'm leaning Patriots. I like the points. I'll take the Patriots +3. I'm sure I'll be able to find a half point somewhere. If not, I might buy it. But I'm with you. I like the under. This might be my first 2 unit on the first half under.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I don't really have a play on the spread or anything. I definitely see what you guys are saying with the Patriots. Just I don't know. I don't know if I could trust Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins doing what they did 2 weeks
That's
in a
my
row.
thing. I'm scared.
It's just I really like the under.
I might just
here.
rock my under.
I really like the under here. I think Patriots defense, like you said, is very similar to the Cowboys defense, and they just had 0 answer for. I think we had 7 to 8 sacks, something like that. Kirk Cousins just couldn't get away from Marcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons and that pass rush. But I really like the under here. I think Patriots offense never really gets anything going, so we don't have to really worry about them. But I think that their defense will be able to contain Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson at least enough to the point where this game won't really be in jeopardy of going over.
It's so tough to bet on the Patriots, though. I feel you guys' pain because I'm a fan and I do it every game like I'm supposed to off the card. But it's so tough to bet on the Patriots offense because you look at that lineup and that roster. Jacoby Myers is pretty good. Ramondre Stevenson has potential. But there's no superstar. There's no clear-cut playmaker. And the toughest part is when this team gets in the red zone, who's getting the ball across the goal line? That's the question that remains to be answered every week because last week it was our punt returner. Shout out Bill Belichick, though, because they drafted the number 1 punt returner in college football in the 3rd round. He plays slot quarterback for us, too, and he does a good job at that. Obviously, Bill can coach him up. But you draft that guy to be a game changer, and he comes in and literally wins you a divisional game. That's important. If they don't win that, if they go to overtime, they can obviously lose that game. Anybody could, or they could tie it. That's a monumental win, so great draft pick by Bill there.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to lie. I was so close to taking Jets +3.5 on the card. Just obviously nothing against you, but for that exact reason, the divisional game, I always say take the points. And the whole game, it looked so good. I didn't take it. The whole game, it looked so good. And then that happens. I'm like, yep, there it is.
That's the New York
play.
Jets, though.
It was
That's
the correct
New
play.
York Jets.
Jets +3.5 was definitely the winning play. You're on the yeah. I mean, you're just on the wrong side of a
The
bad read
Patriots
right there.
missed 2 40-yard field goals, though. That would have changed your bet
Yeah,
drastically.
but I'm
Those-
sure there's things
Nick
that
Folk's
happen.
normally automatic.
I'm sure there's a bunch of things that happened during the game where the Jets could have scored points and they didn't. I mean, it's just like one of those.
They had negative 27 passing yards in the second half.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But
They had more.
getting
They had more punts than completions.
getting back to my Patriots offense
Jeez.
slacking. I mean, yeah, I mean, you just won a football game without scoring a touchdown. Obviously a special teams touchdown, but I mean, Jets defense isn't anything special, and what do you guys have?
I think
for
the
it?
Jets defense is good.
the Jets defense is good.
Jets
It's
defense
not-
is like
no,
top 10.
No, I don't know about top 10. They're not bad. I'm not
Like
saying
right
they're
around
bad.
10.
I'm not saying they're bad at all, but I mean, you should be putting up more than 3 points against them. I don't think they're.
Yeah.
they're that-
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they're
I
that
agree
good.
with that.
I didn't.
No.
mean to
But
say
they're a
that
top defense.
No, I didn't mean to say
They
that they're
beat.
like bad or anything, but they're definitely. I don't think they're like one of the defenses in the league that you really need to be scared of.
They began the demise of Josh Allen.
I mean, Josh Allen did that to himself. He's just throwing the ball to anyone.
He
Guy had
was the
six.
defensive
Guy had
rookie of the
6
year.
interceptions in a 3-game span.
I like. Yeah, I mean. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
fan of the-
Speaking of which, kind of off topic here on this game, but Sauce Gardner's losing his hold on defensive rookie of the year to Aiden Hutchinson big time.
He was a huge part to that Jets defense being so good in the beginning of the season was how good Sauce Gardner was going to be locking up these top receivers, and he did it in the beginning of the season, and now he's kind of getting exposed. So like I said,
Remember-
I mean, I just don't think that they're a top 5 defense or one that you would really be like, shit, got to play the Jets defense this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Remember
that's why it's
Sauce
so
Gardner
tough to
wearing
bet
the-
on the Pats.
Remember Sauce Gardner wearing the cheese head in green in Lambeau, running
He's-
around. He was gonna be the defensive rookie.
gives
of the
me,
year.
Yeah.
He gives me the same
Aiden
vibes
Hutchinson's
as
good.
George Pickens.
We'll talk about that.
Him and George Pickens.
Oh, we
I
forgot to
love- I
talk
mean-
about that. Let's talk about it now. Aiden Hutchinson, that game already passed on Thanksgiving though. Watch out for him to be a difference maker. He has the same amount. I don't know. I saw some crazy stat the other day about Aiden Hutchinson, about his tackles and interceptions and sacks and whatnot. He's
Ace, were you
trying-
watching that Giants Lions game?
Yeah, I saw the pick.
He was an animal. Yeah.
He is an animal, though. He's always been an animal. Is he coming off an injury?
Off-season injury, maybe.
Oh, it's just the way you said it. It made it seem like he was like coming back.
No, he started off slow though.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot underwhelming at first, and he's been popping off, and he's been a game changer last
He
few
is
weeks. so.
good though. Out of Michigan, he's a beast. What was he, 4th overall or something like that?
Second.
Was he second?
Second.
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, you're right.
Sauce was 4. Who went 3?
Offense.
It was like the Texans.
What
Was
team
like
was
an
it?
offensive lineman. Derek Stingley, Texans.
Yeah.
LSU, cornerback.
He's good though. I like him.
I like him too.
I like all of the guys in that early draft class. I like defense. You can't really miss on defense. You can miss on offense early.
Yeah.
Safe play to go there. But these Thanksgiving games are going to be great. I'm looking forward to all of them. It's awesome to see a great slate. Giants being relevant, Cowboys and Lions fun to watch. Bills, Patriots, both big market teams, and the Vikings are the Vikings. So it'll be fun to watch. I think the Patriots reign supreme on primetime Kirk to end the night though.
If primetime Kirk Cousins wasn't such a narrative, this would. I mean, Ace, I know you're a Patriots fan. Mackie, we would be sitting here saying this is the biggest get-right game in the world. For
I
the
don't think it would be a 2.5 point line if this is Sunday at 1 o'clock either, though.
Yeah.
No shot. Also, just the last week, coming off that Cowboys game.
But
they're
I mean, it makes
so
this matchup.
incompetent the whole game.
We're definitely getting the best possible outcome of this matchup, though. I think. Like
And we want to talk. You guys want to say stars are getting in the end zone on Thanksgiving? You're telling me
Justin
we're not going to
Jefferson.
see a Justin Jefferson gritty?
Nope, I can't say that. We're not going to see that. But
I
if I were
can't
you
say
guys, I
that
might say
either,
that.
Man. I also can't say that. I think Zeke gets in the end zone.
Yeah, I'd say Z. And my favorite touchdown scores for Thanksgiving, let's see, off the top of my head, I like Stephon Diggs, Jamal Williams, Ezekiel Elliott. Do you like Saquon? I don't. I guess.
Jamal Williams coming off 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he scores every week.
Yeah, he's a dog. I got him in one of my fantasy leagues.
But yeah, no, Diggs and Elliott are my favorites. I don't want to say Barkley. That Cowboys defense scares me.
I think they'll score
Same with
points.
the
though.
Patriots.
They're gonna score.
Patriots
they're gonna score
defense. You think though? You guys shut down a much better offense last week.
Dude, that was
Two good
we
odds you could probably get. I like Dalton Schultz for the Cowboys. I don't know what the odds are on that. I feel like he always scores against against the Giants.
yeah, it's a good
And
pick.
another deep value one. I don't know what you could get on is maybe Thielen for the Vikings.
What about Josh Allen?
Go run one in.
That'd probably be pretty good.
That could be an interesting one.
I just don't trust it. I mean, there's not many situations. You just got to bank on like one or two situations happening.
He runs a no. He runs a lot.
He sneaks it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Josh
but
Allen.
you
his head.
get a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. He's probably throwing a little slant to Stephon Diggs.
But he also goes to Singletary a lot now. They're trusting Singletary.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of strides over the past couple of weeks. As the Bills have struggled, and Josh Allen
Which is
struggled,
weird, 'cause
Singletary has really come on.
They drafted James Cook to be that guy, but James Cook isn't him.
They also who'd they just sign?
They signed someone that's
Naheem
not that
Hines.
No,
Yeah.
Naheem Hines. Yeah, why'd you sign Naheem Hines? You're just going to use Singletary more now than you did before.
'Cause
Well,
when
Hines,
Josh Allen's good again,
they've been
they'll
trying to
use
get
Hines. They'll
Hines
use
going.
Hines.
If you guys have watched, and he's been doing nothing.
Huff, what'd you say?
I said I feel like Hines is more the receiving back.
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah, when he went there, you can't tell me that you didn't think he was going to take over 80% of the snap.
I didn't think he'd be a lead down back. He's only a third down back.
He's a 3rd down back behind Jonathan Taylor.
Devin Singletary's touchdowns have been running through the tackles too, because
I see
people
what you
get
mean.
spread
I know
out
what
by.
you mean, Mackie. Yeah, Devin Singletary's not like a stud.
Like,
Yeah, he
Devin
sucks.
Singletary was doing less before they made that signing, and then now he's like popping off.
But my theory is Naeem Hines is literally just a third down back that receives. If you look at it, the Bills are being stymied on the outside. Everybody's widening out to cover the rolling out of Allen. They're covering the receivers, and they're running up the middle power run, which is working to get in. And that's Devin Singletary and Zach Moss are their true power running backs.
Yeah, you're right. I just thought it was a little weird how
Yeah.
makes sense
I agree.
back then.
The
Singletary's
the
so
Bills
popular.
wanted McCaffrey or Kamara so bad, and
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
was just like, "Dude, we're
No.
not trading you the best
Yeah.
running backs in the league. Like you're already good enough."
They
Figure
sent
it
them
out."
to San Francisco though. When we get to that team, I have a lot
Wow.
to say about them.
Niners are the best team in the NFC, in my opinion.
Them and the Bucks. I've been saying it all year. You don't want to see them if you're the
Come
Eagles.
on, not the Bucks this year. I'm genuinely
You
not
don't
scared
want to
of them.
see them in the playoffs.
I wouldn't mind
Those
this
two.
year. I really wouldn't.
Dude, the
You'd
Bucks,
rather
here's
You'd rather see that. I'd rather see the Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles,
Okay,
or the
but
Vikings
I wouldn't rather
than
see
the
the
Bucks
Eagles.
and the Niners.
I wouldn't want to rather see the Eagles. The
don't know.
NFC really isn't that strong this year. The playoff teams are very shaky.
You know what
Yeah,
I think is going to be hilarious when it happens? When
What?
Tom Brady makes the playoffs and wins the division, his first round fucking matchup is against Daniel Jones.
No, it's gonna be against fucking Dak
Yeah.
Prescott.
He's going to be Tom Brady versus fucking Daniel Jones in Tampa Bay. It's going to be a 10-point spread.
Yep, and then Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady beating the NFC Conference Championship. That'd be great.
Well, you fucking know Kirk Cousins isn't getting there, so you can rule out one team.
Yeah. And I don't think I like Jalen Hurts, but I think he's a regular season quarterback. I'm not
Look at the-
sold on the read option quarterback in the playoffs.
It's crazy. Like I know like we love to say, like everyone loves to say the quarterbacks head to head, like names, like act like they're on the field together, like going head to head. But like, think of the quarterbacks that Brady would have to go up against in the NFC this year in the playoffs: Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts, like Jimmy Garoppolo, Geno Smith. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts
Jimmy
and
Brady
Dak are
every
really
day.
the only two that.
Dak. Yeah, I forgot Dak. But, like-
Dak's pretty. I mean, I'm coming from a Cowboys fan. I might look at him a little differently.
Dak's
but
the
I think
top of that list.
I think Dak's pretty good.
Dak's
I-
good. Dak's
think-
top 10.
Yeah, I'd say like top 8.
8 to 10. It's like 7.
Dude, I mean they're averaging 35 points a game since
He's
been
probably
back.
8. He's probably 8. He's probably 8.
I wouldn't put him above 8.
No. He's probably
But-
8 right there.
My point was Brady's gonna have to play two of those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's a good chance he's getting a home game because he's gonna win the division.
It always works out for Tom Brady.
Well, when you go to a division with fucking PJ Walker, I'm drawing a blank right now. Who the fuck else is he?
Marcus
Mariota,
Mariota and
yeah.
Andy Dalton.
Marcus Mariota, Andy Dalton. Yeah, you should be winning the fucking division, man. Like,
It's like what I
He
said
was
earlier. There's no good quarterbacks in the NFL anymore. This is the weakest quarterback class we've seen in so long.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that actually.
We were so spoiled when we were younger.
Yep.
Yeah, we were.
I'd say 05, like mid 2000s, best quarterback play of our life.
Yeah, like even like shitty teams had
Chad
like even
Pennington would be good in this NFL.
Come
I was gonna say even
on.
like
It's a more
Phillip
athletic
Rivers would be the
NFL.
Pocket passers win games though. Still.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that since day one. That's why Tom Brady has 7 rings.
The thing is,
Do you
they don't teach kids nowadays to be a pocket passer in youth leagues. They teach them to read option, and then it doesn't work at the next level with good defenders.
could
I
you
don't know. I
imagine like
think, dude, like Mahomes, like for the most part, he'll extend plays by rolling out, obviously, but he stays in the pocket as long as he possibly can, and he's really good at it too. I mean, I feel like that's like the one thing that like the top guys stress: is stay in the pocket as long as you can. That's your best option at seeing the field and seeing your receivers get open. I mean, you're rolling out, you're taking off angles everywhere. So uh, I mean, he is a player that rolls out very often, but he extends plays for an extra 11 to 12 seconds that you just didn't see happening. So, yeah, I mean, staying in the pocket is probably most important, but it's not like Mahomes is. I mean, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and he's not really teaching to just
Mahomes is different.
bail on the play. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but
You said it, Ace. We're going to see lots of good football here on Thanksgiving. I'm really excited for it. So let's jump into our Sunday games, starting with the 1:00 slate. The Baltimore Ravens at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Ravens, the favorite in this matchup, at a solid -4. Their money line at -205, and the over/under sitting at 43.5. The trend I got for this matchup is that Baltimore is 5-1 straight up in their last 6. And I got 80% of the money on Ravens spread. Tons of cash early on the Ravens. What do we think? Huff, you want to get us going here?
Yeah, I'll get us going here. Obviously you said a lot of money coming in on the Ravens. I did notice that. This Jaguars team, I've kind of been iffy on them most of the year, and the Ravens have burnt. most of, if not all of us, at some point. And a 4-point spread when they're at home, I like the Ravens. It's just I don't know, something about the Jaguars and what they have going with Trevor Lawrence is kind of picking his play up. Travis Etienne has gotten so much better since the departure of James Robinson. This team is decent at home. They've been covering spreads, and I'm going to take the Jags. I really like Christian Kirk, too, what he's been able to do the past couple of weeks with Trevor Lawrence. I think this is a high-scoring game, too. I think, obviously, the Ravens could put up points, and obviously a 4-point spread. I just think this could be a field goal game, maybe come down to 4. Jags lose by 4. This could be like the definition of a push, but I like the Jags. I don't know. I mean, obviously you see the high money. I'm obviously going to not necessarily jump on that, but when it's a Ravens team, and obviously they're an easy team to go at each week, and they've been rolling, you said 5-1 or whatever the stat was, but I don't know. I like ETN. I might look at maybe a prop for him, but to get in this very injured Ravens team has just been kind of iffy for me over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, Huff, it's crazy you say that. I'm actually all over the Ravens here. I'll probably buy it down to -3 though, because that'll be a peace of mind bet. Obviously not as great of odds, but that could be a 2-unit play for me. After getting stymied last week against the Panthers and pulling out a gutsy win at home, I think they find a lot more space to open up the defense here down in Jacksonville. Especially Sunday 1:00 games when Lamar Jackson really puts up those crazy stat lines. Look for him to run wild, maybe get in. After being held to 1 touchdown last week, I really like the Ravens to bounce back and assert themselves as one of the best teams in the AFC and the NFL overall.
yeah, it's just a weird matchup. Baltimore versus Jacksonville. This is my first look at it, honestly. I don't know. The Ravens just haven't been trustworthy this year. Obviously, they're in a 0-0 game last week with the Panthers for a really long time out. Obviously, ended up coming out on top, winning that game 13-3, I think. But Lamar just, I mean, Panthers have a good defense, so it's explainable. But Lamar just didn't look himself, you know. Even running the ball, he's just giving up on plays a little earlier, and I don't know. He's looked a little off his past few weeks. I know they're a little injured, so there's that. But I think they're on a 4-game winning streak, 5-1 in their last 6, something like that. So that team is rolling. They're getting the job done. Um, I think they can cover a 4-point spread here. I think when it comes down to it, even if it's a 2-point game, say they're down to it, and Lamar Jackson's drive and get in the end zone, win by 5 points. I just don't think 4 points is enough for Trevor Lawrence to keep up with Lamar Jackson in that offense this week, especially because Jacksonville doesn't really have a very good defense, and Lamar will just pick apart pretty bad defenses. So I like the Ravens -4 this week.
Good stuff in that 1 o'clock matchup, boys. The next one up is the Denver Broncos at the Carolina Panthers. Broncos the favorite here at -2.5. Their money line sitting at -132, and the over/under sitting at 36.5. Hard to watch the Panthers last week, only scoring 3 points in their game. Ravens only getting 13. Overall, a tough game to watch. Good call for the underbetters in that matchup. The trends I got for this one is that Denver is 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games against Carolina, and Carolina is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. Mackie, what do you think in this matchup? I think it's going to be a weird one. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean it's just it's Denver, Carolina, just to be sure, right? This is Denver, Carolina, just to be sure, right? Okay. Um, yeah, it's just two teams that have just been playing some pretty awful football. Obviously, Baker Mayfield got the start last week for the Panthers, and they put up 3 points. So, they can't really find an answer at the quarterback position for that team right now. And Broncos coming off a tough loss in overtime to Devontae Adams, and the Raiders. Devontae Adams had a pretty big game. It's just both teams can't find a way to win a football game right now. Russell Wilson looks awful. Hasn't been able to figure it out since he got into Denver. Team sitting at 3-7. Panthers sitting at 3-7. I think 3-8. So, it's just two really bad football teams. Just a game where I'd like to take the under. I mean, neither offenses can get it done. Panthers have a pretty good defense, I guess. Uh, Broncos are a pretty good defense as well. You got Pat Surtain back there and everything. So, yeah, a game that I really like the under, and I don't really have a play on the -2.5. I think it's a pretty shitty football game if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely a game I would like to stay away from, and not too much to speak on about these teams. Very underwhelming. Strong defenses, yet can't figure out how to put points on the board. Donta Foreman really the only strong point of the Carolina Panthers, and then on the Denver Broncos side, they just recently cut Melvin Gordon, so they don't really know what's going on. If anything, I'd play the under here with two offenses that don't know how to put points on the board, and two coaches that make bizarre coaching decisions. Definitely a stay away game under if anything you're looking here. Huff, I don't know if you like anything.
I just liked your logic behind the two coaches that just make bad decisions. Yeah, obviously last week I looked at the first half under with the Broncos, and the under with the Broncos has just been the play week in and week out. That's something I'm looking at this week. I might do the first half and the full game on this one, but I'll go with my boy again. Give me Russ. They don't deserve to be
Gross.
2.5 point
gross.
favorite.
How do you keep
They're bad,
taking,
dude.
Yeah.
I don't. I just keep taking it because he's my boy.
How do you keep
But-
even saying Broncos?
Yeah.
You gotta be
How is he
disgusted.
still your boy?
Yeah. It's just brutal week in, week out.
Oh no, I've totally switched. I mean, I've just
It's
taken
Sam
it. That's
Darnold's
like
home
last week.
debut.
Yeah, exactly. Is that
I
a
think
good
Sam
thing you're
Darnold's
saying?
better than Russell Wilson. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but they could be. He could be. It's not that hard.
Dude, why not?
No,
I
that's
think
why I like the.
I don't think there's many quarterbacks Russell Wilson's better than right now. So
I think both defenses have a day for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Broncos' defense is still very good, even with the departure of Bradley Chubb. So, I like the under here for first half, probably full game too. So, that'll be the one thing I'm looking at in this one.
Yeah, not much more to say other than I hope we see 3 quarterbacks in one game by the Carolina Panthers.
what are the odds on that?
That'd be hilarious.
Plus $1 million. Probably not even though. Actually, no. That could be a
it's
lock.
not.
That could be a lock.
I could get
The
a
way
plus
they play.
350 on that.
Is that even a play? Like, imagine that was a play. DraftKings, if you listen to this, FanDuel, give us that play.
Let us know.
Good stuff there, boys. Yeah, low over-under in that matchup, 36.5. We'll have to see what happens. Next one up is the Atlanta Falcons at the Washington Commanders. Commanders are the favorite here at -4. Their money line sitting at minus 198 and the over-under sitting at 41.5. The trends I got here is that the Falcons are 6-1 straight up in their last 7 games against the Commanders, as well as 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games on the road against the Commanders. Washington is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6, as well as 5-1 straight up in their last 6. What do we think here? Ace, you want to take us away on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as high on the Falcons as the rest of. I'm definitely muted to start that, but I'm not as high on the Falcons as the rest of you are. I know our whole podcast is probably leaning that spread because it's been a wagon all year. But to me, this is another stay away game. 2 really bad teams that like to do dumb things at weird times. Yeah, I'm not. I don't really have a big play on this. Maybe CPAT to get in the end zone. I know Mackey got let down on it. But I'm staying away from this one on the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday as well. Mackie, I know you might be leaning Falcons spread, but let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah, you'd think so, but I'm really not. Dude, this NFC East just keeps finding ways to win games. Taylor Heineke looks like a good quarterback to win football games. You know you can trust him back there. Sitting at -4. Obviously, Atlanta's been wagging on the against the spread all season. I've lived by them all season. I think I'm up like an extra 5 units because of them. But in this situation, I don't know. They're on the road, going against a really good Washington team recently with Taylor Heineke with all the confidence in the world. Yeah, I just think they definitely have enough to get it done right now. Atlanta's 1-4 on the road this year. They're going into a cold field, and you're playing in DC. Obviously, when you play in Mercedes, you got that dome, so you don't have to worry about the weather. And I just don't trust Marcus Mariota to do enough to get anything done in Washington. So I think Washington wins that game and covers 4-point spread.
Yeah, I actually like the Falcons here. Like you said, they're just been a wagon against the spread this year. Kind of the Commanders, I feel like they're riding very high right now. A lot of things going on in the NFC. A lot of these teams are trying to make a push for one of those final 2 wildcard spots. As obviously they're in a very tough division themselves in the NFC East. The team that just has the teams in the division that just keep picking up wins. Obviously, a big game for that division this week is the one one of the ones that we already talked about, being the Giants-Cowboys. I think the Commanders, tough spot for them here. A Falcons team that could very much come in and kind of spoil the party for them as far as most of their season. I know a loss here doesn't necessarily kill them, but I like this Falcons team necessarily to get back on track, but cover a spread here, at least make it a 3-point game.
4 is always a weird spread, I think. But I think I like Falcons here. Next one up, 1 o'clock, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Cleveland Browns. The Bucs are the favorite here at -3.5. The money line sitting at -178 and the over-under sitting at 42.5. No trends from me here, so let's send it over to Ace. Ace, what do you got for us, Bucs and Browns?
Yeah, I've been high on this Bucks team all year. Always am with Tom Brady. Happy that they're back off of a bye week, ready to roll with them again. And you know Brady, after a bye week, he really locks in and hunkers down on that second half of the season to make sure things end the way he really wants them to, which is attaining that number 1 seed in the NFC South. So 3.5 points against the Cleveland Browns is not a lot. I'm going to buy that half point. Probably see me put this on the card, Bucks -3. I think Nick Chubb is going to get pounded the rock a lot, but the thing is that Bucks defense is one of the best defensive units in the league. And I really think everybody getting healthier 1 week off on that offense does a lot for them. I think the Bucks really have a great game against that weak Cleveland defense. So they had that one game on Halloween against the Bengals, but that was about it. Yeah, I really like the Bucks to stomp the Browns this week. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
It's
Honestly, I like a lower scoring game here. I think it's going to be, like you said, Tampa's defense is going to step up to the task. I think the Browns defense is obviously no joke, having guys like Garrett and Denzel Ward out there. But I think Tampa will be able to get the job done. I don't love a 3.5-point spread. I do like the if anything, I'm going to take the Browns +3.5. Obviously going against. I just like that they're home. One last game without Deshaun Watson. I think they're able to maybe squeak one out here, but I like them to lose by 3. I'll give them the points.
I think that's going to be another good 1 o'clock game, close game, like you guys said. Let's move forward. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans, another 1 o'clock matchup. The Bengals the favorite here, -2.5. Over-under sitting at 42.5, and the money line for the Bengals at -130. Both these teams winning their games last week, Cincinnati over Pittsburgh and Tennessee over Green Bay. The trends I have are that Cincinnati is 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games when playing Tennessee. Cincinnati is 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. And Tennessee is 5-0 against the spread in their last 5. Huff, you want to get us going on this matchup?
Yeah, I'm leaning on the Titans here. I think this team is a wagon right now. I like Vrabel. I like what he's doing with the boys down in Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry's starting to get his feet under him and obviously starting to have a really good year, another really good year for one of the best running backs that we've seen over the past so many years. Tannehill back under center for the Titans. Traylon Burks is back off injury. I really like what's going for this Titans team as they get the defensive pieces back. I know there's a good amount of money on the Titans, but I like them at +2.5. I think they win this game at home. I'll probably take the points anyway just because Vegas knows more than me. So if I can find +3 with the Titans, I absolutely love it, but definitely leaning on the Titans here at home. I know the Bengals were definitely having a good game last week in Pittsburgh. I watched that whole one, obviously, in person. But high-flying week for them. I think things slow down. And in Tennessee, again, play a slower game, more of a running game. Mixon is going to have to be more of a actually, Mixon had a concussion against the Steelers, sorry. But it was mostly the Pirine show as he had 3 touchdowns in Pittsburgh. But it's going to be a slow game for the Bengals and for the Titans. I like the Titans. Give me the points. Maybe the under, too, but I like the Titans.
It's crazy that you say the under. My favorite play in this game was definitely the over. Two more underwhelming defenses. We've been talking about a lot of great defenses lately on this podcast and this season, but I think with I think Ryan Tannehill is healthy. He's a good quarterback. I think him Burrow will be putting points on the board this week. Really looking at both teams to put up at least 3 touchdowns.
Would you take Ryan Tannehill or Geno Smith?
Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. He fits great for that offense too. Great off of that play action pass. Has a strong arm and he's a good game manager, veteran, been around. He can do a little bit with his legs, but he doesn't do too much. Is the biggest thing about him. He really plays within the game script. But that being said, I've been high on both these teams. Hit on 2 2-unit plays last week. Hit the Bengals 2-unit spread against the Steelers, and I hit the Titans with an alternate spread against the Packers. I kind of knew they were going to smoke them. Wish I took an even more alternate spread, but still got them at +172, which was nice. Yeah, I don't know who comes out on top. Is Jamar Chase playing? I don't think so, right?
Probably without Chase and Mixon.
Yeah, it's a tough call though because Joe Burrow should be winning. It'll be a tight game. That's why I like the over. But Joe Burrow should have a chance to win the game at the end, and I think he can get it done. He usually does, even without his boys. He'll make whoever it is work. Lean Bengals, but my favorite play here is the over. I think this will be a good game. Definitely a fun one to watch. Mackie, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, with Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase being out, I mean, obviously Jamar Chase has been out, but Joe Mixon's a huge part of that offense as well. I think Joe Burrow is going to struggle a little more. I do kind of like the over. I think both teams can figure it out, especially towards the end of the game, more scoring towards the end of the game. You can see a few touchdowns in the last 10 minutes of this game, I think. But I like the Titans. I really think the Titans get it done. They're 3-1, or they're 3-1 on the at home this year. And I just think that they've been doing enough to get it done. I mean, they surprised me last week in Green Bay. They won by 2 touchdowns, I think. I thought the Packers were going to win that game outright, but obviously I was on the wrong side of that one. I've just been wrong about this team a few times this year, and I think it's time to finally jump on their wagon. They're 7-3. They're winning football games. They're on home field right now, so I like them to win this game outright.
Good stuff there, boys. Game in Tennessee, 2.5-point spread. We'll see how it happens 1 o'clock Sunday. Next one up is the Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins. A huge spread here, -13 in the Dolphins' favor. Money line at -800 and the over-under at 46.5. The trends I got here is that Miami is 10-1 straight up in their last 11 games at home, as well as 4-1 straight up in their last 5. Houston is 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games against Miami. Pretty interesting one there. What do we think, Huff?
I mean, I always say that anytime you see a big spread, I'm usually leaning on giving the points. I feel like I'd like to see a stat, maybe double-digit dogs in the NFL this year. I feel like they're definitely hitting it more than 65%. Texans, bad week last week at home against a Commanders team that's obviously have their things going for them right now. But this Dolphins team is very scary to bet against. Minus 13 points is a big spread. Dolphins have been shown that they can put up the points and quick, too, as I've had against them in a couple of games this year and gotten burned on that. But this Dolphins team is very scary. Minus 13 points. This is one I'm probably going to be staying away from because I do not love the Texans team enough to take them plus 13. I think obviously I think they could cover it. If I had to lean a spread, I would definitely lean on the Texans. But I think you might want to look at some props or maybe a Miami Dolphins team total over. I'm sure it's sitting pretty high as the Texans defense has struggled most of the season, but it's just once the Dolphins get rolling, I think that 13 points could get out of hand really quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely see where you're coming from in that situation. I just think this could definitely be a slower game. I really like the under here. I think 13 points is a little ridiculous for Miami Dolphins to have a spread like that. But obviously they've been putting up points like crazy, but I just don't think they're that that good yet to give them a 13-point spread. I don't really care who they're playing. But I just think I like the under here. I think it's more slow game. We've seen spreads of over 10 points, so we see how slow they've been all season. The under on those games are just hitting at a ridiculous rate, and I think it continues here. I think the Texans keep the game slow a little at least. Tua's going to do his thing. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill are going to get their targets, and they're going to put up their points. But hopefully, and I think that the Texans will be able to at least limit it a little, keep it towards the end of the game, at least make it respectable in the first half. Maybe fall apart towards the end, but I think it's definitely more of a low scoring game. I might look into a prop at the Texans team total under as well. I don't really think they get much going. They haven't gotten much going. Damian Pierce hasn't done anything in 3 weeks. Davis Mills hitting that sophomore slump worse than ever right now. So they don't really have much going for them right now. So I like that. I might look into that team total under. I don't know what it's sitting at right now. It's probably sitting around like 19, 18 points. So
Definitely less than that.
something to look into. You
Yep.
think so?
Yep. They don't score much. They could be 13.5.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe like, well, if you think about it, what's 14 plus 27 is like 40, 42 points, 41 points. So it makes sense.
Dolphins team total is probably 29.5. And that brings me into my play. I know you said that this is going to be a low scoring game. I do think it is a low scoring game from the Texans sidelines. 13 points, maybe I even take them at the spread at that point, but I'll probably tease them or something like that. But my favorite play is the Dolphins team total over. I think the Dolphins will light them up through the air. I know we alluded to Stingley earlier, but teams have really lit up this defense for a lot of touchdowns, and it's pretty easy for them to walk the field. With Mike McDaniel's offense? That's his name, the coach down there in Miami, first year head coach. He calls the right plays at the right time, so they'll get theirs. And with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, I think he's out. I don't know though. So many playmakers on that side of the ball. I think the Dolphins will put up their fair share of points and definitely get the win. Don't know about how much, but I like the Dolphins team total over in this game a lot. Definitely happy that Tua and the boys are off the bye so we can bet on them again. Tyreek Hill's the man.
13 points is a lot. We'll see what happens there. Last 1 o'clock game we got is the Chicago Bears at the New York Jets. The Jets are the favorite here at minus 4.5. Their money line sitting at minus 196, and the over/under sitting at 39.5. Another tough game to watch last week. 13 points scored between Jets and Pats. Will the Jets get more points here? They're spread 4.5. The trend I got is Chicago's 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games against the Jets. What do we think here? Ace, you want to get us going?
Definitely. Yeah, we really came after the Jets after their poor performance against the Patriots, but Huff and I were saying earlier on the pod, I think this is one of the top 10 defenses in the NFL. So if there was ever a get-right game for the Jets, especially at home, MetLife, terrible stadium, I don't even know if they really like playing there, but if there's ever a good time to get right, it is at home, and it's against the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields has been playing out of his mind lately, looking like the best quarterback in his draft class. But the Jets really match up well with this running style quarterback out of Chicago. And if Zach Wilson or whoever they want to put back there, maybe it's Mike White, but Saleh's been true to Zach Wilson. Um, Wants to get something going on the offense after being disappointed last week and really 0-1 to their team, then they'll get it going against the Chicago Bears defense. I like the Jets to win this game. Those points, 4.5, are a lot to me. Maybe I take them in a teaser, get them +3, somewhere around there. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but I think the Jets win outright. Bears are a tricky team that like to hang around. Justin Fields, like I said, playing good football, but I just think that Jets defense is too much for him to run around all day on.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the opposite side of this here. Surprising because you're all on Justin Fields and I'm not, but I think this is a good situation for him to run around because it's Jets defense is all right, but it's good at like lockdown defense and just playing their position. The second you bring in a running quarterback and he's scrambling all over the place and all their backs are turned to the receivers, he's 20 yards downfield already. I think this is a really good situation for the Bears to be in. Obviously, Jets had nothing going on offense last week. I mean, obviously, the Patriots have a very good defense, but Zach Wilson was missing like checkdowns, wide open checkdowns. So, no excuse for that. Jets also, Robert Saleh said he doesn't have a starter for that game yet. So it's a lot up in the air for that team right now. They have a lot of complications going on right now. Obviously you're not confident in Zach Wilson at all, and team is 6-3. So you got to find out a QB situation there. Season's going to end pretty soon, but I like the Bears here. I think this is a situation where you can expose the Jets. And I know the Jets are better than a lot of people think, but I still don't think they're as good as a 6-3 team should be. And I think the Bears are actually better than a 3-4 win team.
They're 6-4. They're 6-4.
Jets. Okay. 6-4. Whatever. Same thing. Kinda. But yeah, I think they can definitely their confidence is definitely at a bottom at a low right now. Only putting up 3 points last week. Obviously, it's a tough divisional loss. Offense has nothing going for them. Could be a low scoring game. I think neither team is really going to figure anything out. We can see if Joe Flacco comes in, maybe the Jets get something going. But I really think the Browns, or not the Browns, the Bears will win this game outright, and Jets will be struggling again, sitting at 6-5, and not really knowing what happened to their good season.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you guys. I with Mackie. I like the Bears here. I think in this spot, I think this is a really good spot for Justin Fields. This is one of my favorite games of the week. I really like the Bears. I think they come out on top, probably win the game. I don't like anything that's going on with the Jets right now. Obviously, last week they played a tough game with the Patriots, a divisional game. That could be an overreaction. I don't think the Jets are that bad. I still think their record shows the team that they are. They have a good defense. But I just like what's going on with the Bears right now. I like Justin Fields. We've been kind of on and off with him. Ace, you're really high on him. Mackie, you guys have gone back and forth on that. I've kind of kind of stood in the corner and just kind of supported from the side the whole time. Justin Fields, he's been doing his thing, obviously. Not a guy you really want to bet against right now. Last week, I really liked the Falcons -2.5. I ended up not taking it. That would have hit Jesse. You ended up taking it. Mackie, I don't know if you ended up riding your boys, but he put up the points last week against Atlanta. Obviously, their defense couldn't hold on for them. Going up against a worse offense, in my opinion, in the Jets, I like the Bears here with 4 points.
Yeah, I'd like the Bears a lot more if they were in Soldier Field this week, but I don't know. That's not the best team. Both sides of the ball, coaching is not that great. They don't have many playmakers. I think Saleh is a defensive-minded coach who knows what to do. I like your pick of the Bears with the points. I don't think I like them outright to win the game, though. What's your play there, Hoff? Are you looking more money line or +4.5?
No, I'd take the points. Take the points.
Yeah, in this game, I think 4.5 is a good, safe bet for either side. But yeah, I think Saleh has his way, and it's maybe a low scoring under game, but I think the Jets defense will be up to the Justin Fields running task.
It should be a better game than most people expect, or most people thought would be a good game coming into the season. I mean, you look at Bears Jets at the beginning of the season, you're like, oh, it's a dud game, but this should be actually be a pretty good game, I think.
Justin Fields is must watch football right now.
You're right.
Really.
You're not wrong. As a running back, though.
Mini Lamar.
Good stuff. That's going to wrap up our 1 o'clock slate. Let's jump into the 4 o'clock games. The first one up is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks the favorite here at -3.5. Moneyline sitting at -194, and the over-under sitting at 47.5. The only trend I got for this one is that Seattle's 5-0 in its last 5 games when playing at home against the Raiders. What do we think here? Huff, you want to get us rolling on this first 4 o'clock matchup?
Question to start it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a question to start it off. How do you feel about the Raiders after a nice divisional win last week? 3-7 now.
I hit that for 2 units, by the way.
No, you didn't. You hit it for 1.
Did I
Yeah,
hit
it
for
was
one?
plus.
Oh,
It was plus 125.
All right. I thought I had them as 2 units too, but it was the Bengals. I swept that slate though. That's fine.
That was a nice slate for you. But yeah, how do you feel about them?
But I don't know. That's kind of going to get into my point, and I'll say this. This Seattle team has been very good coming off a bye this week. I'd like them at home against a struggling Raiders team, and I say struggling because that's a very emotional win last week, a divisional matchup in overtime, a comeback win. Obviously, I mean, I'm been a Broncos fan since Russ got there this season, so it's not like, I mean, this style of play is very boring to watch, so there wasn't much of a surprise to me that they ended up blowing that game. I was not watching the game, but it didn't surprise me one bit whenever I saw the final score when it went in overtime. I just think that was a very emotional win for the Raiders to come back and win that game, and I think they come out this week in Seattle, a very tough place to play. Coming off a bye, I think Kenneth Walker has a huge game. Geno Smith, maybe a tut or two to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I like the Seahawks here. I also really kind of like the over, 47.5. Maybe Josh Jacobs or Devontae Adams is able to find the end zone. I know the Raiders have kind of been able to score in the first half of games. I know last week was kind of flip-flop of what they're normally been doing, putting up points in the first half and then kind of falling off. But I like the Seahawks. I'll take the points too. I like a -3, -3.5. Prefer -3, but I'll take the -3.5. I think they get the job done on their home field. I really like the Seahawks here.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the same side as you. I mean, maybe if the Seahawks weren't coming off a bye, it'd be a little bit of a different story. But this team getting a chance to regroup themselves.
Home off a
Yeah,
bye.
I mean, this team getting a chance to regroup themselves, being able to play at home. Seattle's already a tough place to play in. Coming off a team that is at one of their high points of the season so far. It's a nice divisional win. Devontae Adams had a good game. You had a good game from your star players. It's what you've been wanting since the beginning of the season if you're Las Vegas. But it's still a 3-win team, and with all the star power that they have, it's just brutal all around it. And Derek Carr is not really playing the best football. Geno Smith is playing his best football I think we've ever seen. So Seahawks being able to game plan for this. Pete Carroll's too good of a coach to lose to a bad team like this after a bye week, having 2 weeks to plan for him. So I really like Seahawks with the points. I think they can really blow them out in this situation.
Yeah, I'm actually on the complete opposite side of you guys here. I'm going to go with the Raiders money line. Might even see that on my card. I'm sticking true to 2 things I've been following all year. I've been high on the Raiders all year. I've been hammering the last few weeks, really, and they've been paying me out, which has been nice. But, yeah, the Seahawks, too. The last time we saw them, I think they lost to the Bucs in Germany. Now they're coming off a bye, and I think we all kind of agreed that this is the time we start. That game in Germany was the beginning of the demise of the Seattle Seahawks. And I think that they're going to keep losing and falling back a little bit, maybe even miss the playoffs because they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. I like the Raiders just with their pure strength of roster to come in and beat this team, riding off of a win last week. I think the bye actually cooled off a once hot Seattle Seahawks team. I know your theory, I love teams at home coming off of a bye, but with a team that's really living off of hype and momentum, maybe the bye isn't the best thing for them. I think their best part of the season, their best football of the season was played in the first half, and I think that comes down. I know you guys are really high on the Seahawks, but maybe we can see this differing picks on the card here. I might be taking the Raiders plus again, see if that can carry me in the 4 o'clock slate.
Well, like you said, I mean, the Seahawks, I don't think that bye was necessarily a bad thing for them. That was a tough game for them in Germany. A lot of players were bitching about the field conditions over there. I saw a lot of obviously the losing teams are always going to find something to bitch about, but we saw Bruce Irvin tweeting and stuff about the field conditions. They make us fly all this way for
You know what I mean? Like just a lot of the players. I mean, anytime you're on the losing side, you don't like it. And then we hear the Bucks obviously acting like it's the best fucking game in the world in the Super Bowl. And I mean, I'm defending the Seahawks like they're my hometown team, but I just think the bye was really good for that team. To recap, that was a good Bucks team. They didn't get smoked in that game. Obviously, we all had the Bucks there, but I think the Seahawks team, this is a good spot for them to bounce back coming off a bye. Like I said, home off a bye, that's usually my thing, and I know you said that, but just Raiders team just doesn't have too much going for them. Like I said, if I could get 3, I'd get 3, but I just think this is a good spot for Pete Carroll to outcoach Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, one of my other favorite plays, Jesse, can you tell me the over-under on this game this week?
47.5.
I love that, actually. In the way that these Seahawks have been pesky and sticking around, and these two defenses don't really have much high-flying defensive power, I love over 47.5. Actually, what do you guys think about that play? I know that we had different picks on the game line, but 47.5.
I said I like the over.
Yeah, I love the over, actually, now that I think about it. The Seahawks score a ton of points. Kenneth Walker is one of the best running backs in the league. Have to think he gets in the end.
Yeah, but I don't know if you think that they're
I
slowing
still
down
like
right
the
now.
Raiders to win. Yeah, no, I know. But even in their losses, they put up points. I just don't believe in that defense, I mean, really at all. And I think that the Raiders can put up points at will with the playmakers they have. That's just me, though. I like the Raiders this week. Let it be known. Raiders in the over.
I do like the over too, but I was just testing you there, keeping you on your edge.
Oh, yeah. Good. I appreciate it.
You said it, Ace. Lots of differing opinions for this Raiders-Seahawks game. We'll see what happens. Next 4 o'clock matchup is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. Chargers the favorite here at -4. The money line sitting at -210 and the over-under sitting at 47.5. Both these teams coming off a loss last week, but I got the Chargers are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games on the road. What do we think here? Mackie, why don't you get us going here? Chargers and Cardinals.
Chargers look good last week. That's all I really have to say about them right now. I know what I said about them a week ago and how they're not really a good team. I still kind of really stand by that. It's a divisional matchup last week. They had a good game. Obviously, they knew it was coming. Everyone knew it was coming. Still find a way to choke at the end of the day. I don't know if that's more if that says more about
I
Patty.
was just gonna say that. I knew you were getting to that.
I don't know if that says more about Patty Mahomes or the Chargers in general, or it's just a mix of both. But
That's game management.
yeah, it's just brutal. I mean, the Chargers are so good at losing games. Pat Mahomes so good at winning games. It was just everyone knew they were going to score a touchdown in that drive.
I'll
I
just
love
stand
those
by my
Patrick
case.
Mahomes. I love those Patrick Mahomes memes of everybody or like him on the sidelines when someone scores with like a
Yeah,
minute
I mean,
left.
it's just like it's clockwork at this point. So, with that being said, this is just a 4 o'clock game, and I think that changes a lot for this Chargers team. I don't really think that I mean, they got Mike Williams back, they got Keenan Allen back, so I guess they're a little less injured.
Mike Williams hurt his ankle again
Did
last
he?
week.
Okay,
Mhm.
well,
He's just a
and I don't think
band-aid.
they have anyone else back.
Josh Palmer's a dog. He had 2 touchdowns, 8 for 1 something. He's a dog.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess they're doing a little better at the receiver position. They got Keenan Allen back. Obviously, that's a huge add to that team. But I just don't think they're still there yet. I don't know. You're sitting at a 4.5 spread against this Arizona team. Kyler's back. You don't really know how he's gonna be, but I don't know. I like the over in this game. I don't think I think both teams will still be able to put up points. I think Justin Herbert having more to work with, and I think he's looking a little better. Obviously, from like 6 weeks ago, his ribs were really bad. He was barely even able to throw the ball. I think he's looking a little better. He's got his receivers back, and he's got a little more options. Austin Eckler, obviously out of the backfield. So, I like this game to go over. I think D Hop and Kyler Murray will be able to do enough to hold their own to get this game to go over. I don't really want to pick a winner on this side. I think a 4.5 point spread on the road in this game is a little sketchy. I think it can go either way. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning the over in these two teams, these two offenses.
I agree with you. I definitely like the over here, especially with Kyler Murray back. But I'm actually going to be looking at taking the Cardinals money line or maybe with an alternate spread at home. Get some good value. I love the home team, especially if Kyler's back. I know the Chargers have been a good football team. They hang around. They have a decent record. But I think that Kyler Murray on his home turf will get the win this week. Get the Cardinals back on the right track. definitely love the over there and D-Hop props. I've been hammering those all year. I think you guys know that. A little biased with me as I'm a Kyler guy myself, but I like the Cardinals at home to win this week. Good line too. Great line for a home team.
Yeah, exactly why I'm going to go with the Cardinals +4. I like them at home. I'm going to give them the points. This Chargers team has just been covering spreads over the past. I mean, this is just a team that just covers spreads but can't win games. They find a way to lose games, but they always are covering spreads. Last week, backdoor. I mean, the Chiefs obviously won that game. The Chargers should have won that, but they blew it. But they've just, and 2 weeks ago, the Niners, they had them 7.5. Last week, +6. I mean, the Chargers are covering spreads this week. A road favorite as a 4.5 point or a 4.5 point favorite. I like the Cardinals at home. Kyler Murray coming off two game absence, correct? He hasn't played the past 2
Yeah, 2.
or 3.
2.
Rams
Okay.
and then
Yeah, I think he's probably like 3rd prestige on the new Call of Duty, so he's probably getting ready to come back and play some NFL football. He's probably getting a little.
he has been ripping COD. He doesn't. I think he's got enough. He's had enough of COD. Maybe he can pay attention to some football for the last few
Yeah,
weeks.
I think it's time that I think maybe he got bored from playing so much Call of Duty. I think he might be watching some film on the Chargers this week. That injured defense. So I like the Cardinals +4.
I think it's going to be a good matchup there, Cardinals and Chargers. The next one up, another 4 o'clock game, the Los Angeles Rams at the Kansas City Chiefs. The biggest spread of the week coming in, the Chiefs as the favorite, 14.5 points. Their money line minus 1,100 and the over-under at a solid 44. The trends I got here are that the Rams are 6-3 straight up in their last 9 games on the road. Kansas City is 6-1 straight up in their last 7, as well as 12-2 in their last 14 at home. 14.5 points is a ton. What do we think here? Huff?
It's tough. I obviously said the same thing about the Texans. I'd lean Texans. This one, I can't. I mean, this is also a spot where I said the emotional game for the Raiders last week. The Chiefs, I just said it against the Chargers. They had a very comeback win. I know they're home again, or they weren't home against the Chargers. Now they're coming home against a very bad team against the Rams. A very injured team. They're going to be without Cooper Kupp. They just cut Darrell Henderson. This team is just kind of parting ways with basically everyone except Matt Stafford and Aaron Donald. And this team is just not getting the job done. Sean McVay making some questionable coaching calls, questionable play calling all around, offense and defense. I know this team was supposed to be, let's run this back. They were saying at the parade after they won the Super Bowl last year. This team is garbage. I'd definitely lean on the Chiefs minus 14 here. I think this game could be out of hand quick. This could be similar to that Bengals-Panthers game when it was like 35-0 in the first half. And that's just the only thing that I'm not like jumping, like hammer this, put your life on it, whatever. I mean, it's the Chiefs. For some reason, this is the kind of game they love to let the team stick around. And I don't know why, but I mean, obviously I'm never going to put a 14.5 point spread on my card, so you won't see this one on me, but I'd lean Chiefs.
It's just a 14.5 point spread, and at the end of the day, they're all professional athletes. I can never trust a 14.5 point spread. Especially because Pat Mahomes is just known for letting teams stick around in games like this when he has so much, when he knows he can just come back at any point. So, obviously, I like the Chiefs to get it done here. I think they definitely find a way to win this football game. But I don't know, 14.5 points is just too much for me. It's too much for me to take on a spread, and I don't know, it's a stupid line. Probably gonna stay away from this game. What's the over/under sitting at?
Yeah, you won't see this one.
Oh.
44.
I kind of like the over. Chiefs are
Yeah,
known
me
for
too.
giving up points in games like these.
For no reason.
Yeah, definitely. Not much to say about this.
I could see like 30. I literally could see 35-10, but they would both hit there. So
Yeah. Who's playing? Matt Stafford's back, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They'll get a garbage time
Yeah,
touchdown.
he'll get something going at least.
For sure.
Kansas City doesn't really have a very elite defense, so.
Good stuff there, boys. Let's jump over this next matchup, the New Orleans Saints at the San Francisco 49ers, our last 4 o'clock game. The 49ers are the favorite here at -9.5. The money line sitting at -450 and the over-under sitting at 43.5. Both these teams coming off of wins last week, but I got San Francisco's 7-1 straight up in their last 8 games at home. Ace, you want to start us off with this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are a tough team, really. With Andy Dalton at quarterback, you can't really trust them too much. 9 points seems like a lot, but in San Francisco, we just saw the way that they handled the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. I know it wasn't Kyler Murray, but it was a Colt McCoy. I'd compare him pretty similar quarterback to Andy Dalton. So I would say that they have they have a good chance of repeating their successes of last week. We're going to see Christian McCaffrey get fed. And it looks like George Kittle and Debo are really getting a little resurgence here, which is huge considering how good they are. Like, those are two of the best players at their given position. You have Christian McCaffrey in the mix, and Jimmy Garoppolo is playing pretty good football. And really, when it comes down to it, I lean on the trenches. I've been saying that before. I know Huff agrees with me, offensive and defensive, and they own both sides of the ball with a great coach at home. Maybe I add this to a teaser with the Chiefs, get 7 points from the Chiefs, and get the Niners down to 2. Might have to go back to a few teasers this week because there's a lot of teams I like with high points, but maybe I even take them at 9 points here. I don't really see how the Saints are going to put points on the board, and I know that the 49ers can manufacture it however they want with Shanahan. So, what do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, I'm coming off of, I took the under on that Monday night game the other night with the Niners, and like you just said, I don't know how the Saints are going to get points, but I didn't really know how the Cardinals were going to get points either. And James Conner ended up finding the back of the end zone. They had 10 points at half. So, I mean, bad teams always find ways to score points. It's the NFL. It's just how it is. But I do really like the not.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. I do really like the Niners to cover 9 points here. I think this team is top 3 team in the league now with Christian McCaffrey, and that defense is just stellar. You got Jimmy Garoppolo playing at an elite level, obviously with all the weapons he has with Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, George Kittle. You're just including all these players. There's too many mouths to feed to guard, and obviously the Saints have a pretty good defense, but you can't guard all that. You just can't, especially with that run game being what it is with Christian McCaffrey. So I really like them to run up the score here. I like them to cover 9 points here. And this team is just they're something special. I really like this team, and this is the one team that I'd really be scared of coming out of the NFC. As a Cowboys fan, it's the one team I don't want to see. It's the team that beat us last year, and they've only gotten better. So, I like the Niners to cover 9 points here in a non-primetime game.
I really think Kyle Shanahan's due for his ring at some point. Maybe him getting McCaffrey really does it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I like the 49ers in this spot. I think the Saints, not too much coming out of them. I mean, obviously their team is what it is. Like you guys said, with Andy Dalton there, Olave, they still have some weapons for him to utilize, but I like the Niners on their home field. Kyle Shanahan, one of the best head coaches in the NFL, in my opinion. So I like the 49ers -9.5. This might be another one I look first half full game. What's next? Sunday night? Sunday night football?
Yes, sir. Good stuff out of our last 4 o'clock game. Moving into Sunday Night Football, the primetime game featuring the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are the favorite here at -7. Their money line sitting at -295, and the over-under sitting at 46.5. The only trend I got here is that Philadelphia is 9-1 straight up in their last 10. Like usual, the question is, do they cover the 7 points? It is at an even 7 here on FanDuel. Huff, you want to get us rolling?
Yeah, I'll get us rolling here. This Eagles team is starting to just remind me so much of the Steelers team of 2 years ago that started out undefeated. I've said it once, I'll say it again. And they're just going to keep getting really big spreads and not cover them, just like that Steelers team did. Their record got them all their spreads. This team is a good team. Primetime Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers is going to come in and spoil the party. I'll take the Packers +7 and the under.
Wow, that's crazy. I actually think that this is a great line for the Eagles here this week. I think the Packers are not a good team. They're pretty banged up. Yeah, they get Christian Watson, who's been a nice playmaker addition, but now they have to leave the confines of Lambeau Field and try and win a football game against one of the best defenses in the NFL. And they have to cover all of these playmakers. Without Rashawn Gary, how are they going to stop Jalen Hurts as a read option? Miles Sanders having his resurgence year. A.J. Brown's a stud. and they have a bunch of other targets. I'd like to see Goddard back in the fold. That would help a lot for a Sunday night tilt, but you know that they're going to be ready to roll down in Philly, especially at home on Sunday Night Football. See some of those dog masks in the crowd, that defense with all those big signings. And you see they got Linval Joseph, and then who's the other guy they got up short the line? Ndamukong Suh. So I know they struggled the last 2 weeks, but going back home in the prime time against a weak team, that'll get them right. And 7 points isn't too much. I like that number a lot. I might be taking that. Worst case, we'll get a push there. Mackie, who do you agree with, me or Huff here?
Yeah, I don't really know because this Eagles team goes back and forth, but I do lean Huff's logic here, and I think he's more right about this team than most people are because I mean they squeaked that one by the skin of their teeth last week. Matt Ryan just losing football games like he's good at. So, they got a 1 point win last week against the Colts, squeak one by, but they have not been looking like that team that started 8-0. They let Washington defense tore apart Jalen Hurts. He didn't do anything in the second half.
Washington killed the Steelers and they killed the Eagles.
Yeah, but that's a divisional game, and they're winning game. The Commanders would beat Aaron Rodgers too.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Rodgers.
They did. Yeah, they
Aaron
did.
Rodgers is also 1-4 on the road this year. So again, it's a scary spread. It's obviously prime time, so you gotta look. You gotta take that into favor. Obviously, that leans more Packers there. You're obviously going to take 7 points there, but yeah, I don't really have a play on the spread. I guess if anything, I'll lean Packers +7. Probably not going to have a play here. If anything, I'll look at a prop or two. But yeah, it's a sketchy spread. I don't really like it. But I think Vegas is spot on with this one.
I am excited to watch the Sunday Night Football game.
My only thing is the Packers' defense is so sketch.
Yeah, literally, without Rashawn Gary, how are they supposed to stop that two-headed snake with the read option?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have all the confidence in the world right now.
It's just it's Sunday Night Football. They'll figure it out.
Sunday primetime game, Packers and Eagles. Going to be an interesting one. I think you guys said it right. Vegas has this spread right on the nose. Let's move over to our Monday primetime game, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are the favorite in this matchup at 2.5 points. Their money line sitting at -144 and the over-under sitting at 39.5. Both teams coming off a loss last week, Pittsburgh to Cincinnati and Indianapolis to Philadelphia. But the trend I got here is that Pittsburgh is 5-0 straight up in its last 5 games against the Colts. 2.5 points here as the spread. Huff, what do you think the Steelers are going to do this week?
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. Obviously, the Steelers are the Steelers this year. Just kind of very below average team with a pretty average to elite defense still that's going to get the job done. Last week didn't look so well, but they still have the guys on the defensive side of the ball to get the job done. This Colts team is a very interesting team for me right now as well with Jeff Saturday. I feel like interim coaches are teams that you don't necessarily want to bet against because you have no idea what the fuck they're going to do. And they've been showing Jeff Saturday like running around doing warm-ups like he's literally about to be snapping the ball 65 times on Sunday. He's running around with AirPods in like he's like literally like he's going to be playing, not even coaching.
Oh my God,
I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared to bet against this Colts team. But we all know who I'm going to be leaning on. I think Steelers primetime. The Steelers get the job done in primetime. They just always do. I had them +7.5 against the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. Covered that, lost by 6. I think Pickett, TJ Watt, Minka, they get the job done. The defense is looking better, obviously, last week. I think P. Ryan coming into the game, obviously, that fucked everything up. When you game plan for a guy like Mixon that's going to get 30 snaps or 20 carries, you know what I mean, 30 attempts, whatever, for a game. And a guy like fucking Samaje P. Ryan comes in and just tears you up. I mean, obviously you should be able to game plan for that and adjust to that, but I don't know. I know you guys are probably leaning the opposite side, and like I said, good reason. I like Jeff Saturday and what he's doing with the Colts, but Matt Ryan is just a bad fucking quarterback. I like the under. I'll probably Monday Night Football. I'll probably looking at my first half too. So, but I like the Steelers. I'll try to find that half point and give them +3. Mackie, how are you feeling?
No, yeah, I'm kind of on the same side as you here. My one thing is that when the Steelers play bad teams with TJ Watt in the lineup, they usually win. And obviously last week they got exposed to a Bengals team that's a lot better than them. But in a situation like this, I think after after the Colts see the division getting away from them, and after they see the Titans win this week, they're gonna sitting at 8-3, while the Colts are sitting at 5-6-1 or whatever they are. I think they're gonna really start to their chances are just dwindling game by game, and this is a game where Matt Ryan's just not going to be able to figure it out. They're going to have a lot of it's going to be a really stressful game for him. I think TJ Watt's going to really bother him this game and just be down his throat the entire game. He's going to make him make decisions he doesn't want to make, or he's just going to eat the sack like he usually does. So I really like the Steelers to win outright in this game, and I think this is a game where TJ Watt is a huge difference maker, and having him back is literally wins games like this.
Yeah, I think that TJ Watt is definitely going to be a difference maker and get his on Monday night. But I really do like the Colts here -2.5. I'd even take a -3 when the line shifts. I think the resurgence of Jonathan Taylor, the strength of that defense, the offensive line, playing at home. I just think they're a better team. This game means a lot more. It kind of keeps them in the hunt if they can pull this one out. I'm probably leaning on that. Maybe Jonathan Taylor to get in the end zone. I think George Pickens has a pretty good day. But yeah, TJ Watt will definitely eat. I don't expect too many points from either side on the scoreboard here, but I do like the Colts with the points at home. Veteran team in the prime time here. But I think the Steelers are trending up. I've bet against them a lot this year, but they're playing better football as of late.
Last week they fell the fuck apart in the second half.
Well, Joe Burrow.
Bengals are just a much better team. Yeah. That's why I went with a 2-unit play there.
Yeah.
Nice play, Ace. I really like that. That was a really nice hit. I think you hit that one on the head right there. It's nice to see you benefit from it. 2 units. It's nice.
Yeah, the Bengals are they're a good team. They're starting to turn that season around after a torrid start.
And like you said, Steelers beat him in the beginning of the season. And Joe Burrow's like that too. Like he's not gonna let you do that twice in one season.
I think so too. Joe Burrow is one of the top quarterbacks. Will be here for a long time. But yeah, the Steelers team going to be pesky, making this a hard game to bet on, especially Mike Tomlin. But I think the Colts being at home, if this was in Heinz Field, I'm not calling it whatever it's called now. But if this was in Heinz Field, I would take the Steelers, and it might be an even pick 'em. But in Lucas Oil Stadium, give me the Colts.
Yeah, Ace, I know what you mean, though. If this game's at home, it's a lot easier to take the Steelers. Obviously, that crowd in prime time, obviously, in Pittsburgh. But I wanted to go to this Colts game. Me and Jesse were actually trying to make this our away game of the year, but couldn't end up swinging it with it being the holiday weekend. But, yeah, Steelers, I always say I like the Steelers in prime time. Tomlin usually gets the job done when the lights are the brightest. So we'll have to see. That's going to do it, though. What is this, week 12 already? Damn.
Week 12.
Yeah, so that's going to do it, I think. That's basically all the games for Week 12. We went through some NBA, some NHL. Definitely stay tuned to the social media, all the college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL. We're definitely rolling in 5 sports right now as the MLB came to an end a couple weeks ago. But, yeah, and if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. Leave a comment wherever you're listening to, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. That's something that's going to help us grow. That will make a huge deal for us. So make sure you're doing that. Tell someone to do it. Really, something we really appreciate. So, but yeah, other than that, thanks for listening. That's going to do it for me. And we'll see you guys next week. I don't know what else you guys got to say, but yeah, that's going to do it for me.
Yeah, definitely excited for this week of football. A lot of great matchups. Like I said last week, things have heated up. And our whole team, even though not everybody was positive last week, we were just around it with 500 records at worst. So we're really starting to pick it up in all sports. Follow the socials, like Huff said, for all your needs. But big second half of the season coming from the boys. That's it for me. Go Pats. Go Bruins. Go Celtics. Boston's buzzing right now. Mackie, you got it?
Yeah, you guys covered it right now. Just releasing plays every day. Stick with it.
Good stuff, boys. Thanks for coming out. See you next week. And that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hit the Books. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. So please like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our plays each and every night in the NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, college basketball, and college football. Thank you again, and see you next week.